topic for today's talk is intuition, recognizing soul guidance. Intuition is your soul whispering the truth to your heart and hoping that you hear. By Kate Spenser. What is intuition? Paramahansa Yogananda stated, intuition is soul guidance, appearing naturally in man during those instances when his mind is calm. Guidance comes through the faculty of intuition. It has been called the sixth sense or soul sense. I'll share a story that I came across. A merchant stood at a crossroads, maps in hand, weighing the two different roads to riches, his mind calculating profits and risks. Then a quiet inner nudge pulled him toward the longer path. He followed it. There he found not gold, but a hidden spring of pure water that saved his village from drought. Wealth came to him later through many grateful hearts. He learned that intuition guides us to treasures that the mind often misses. We've all had experiences with hunches or nudges before. Maybe they didn't make sense logically at the time, but the truth came out that they were right on the money. You had a feeling about it and you followed that feeling, and it worked out. And when that happens, we know that we are on the right path. When we can recognize these intuitive moments, we begin to trust this guidance. Intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it and trust it, the stronger it becomes. Spiritually, intuition is often viewed as a direct inner channel to divine wisdom, to higher consciousness, and to your soul's knowing. You strengthen intuition by paying attention to it, testing it, and feeding it with a quiet and receptive mind. Many traditions see intuition as the small, still voice of God, Source, Higher Self, or Universal Spirit, delivering unfiltered truth without ego interference. It bridges the material self with spiritual realms, offering clarity on one's life path, moral choices, or soul lessons. Many of the people who were drawn to Sunburst or other intentional communities in the 70s weren't sure what they were looking for. They just had a strong intuitive sense that they needed to find something else in their life. They were led by a series of signals that life brought to them. Maybe a conversation with someone, maybe a book they had read, or maybe an option that suddenly offered to them. For me, my journey with intuition began with a book of yoga meditation. I learned and practiced the meditation technique for a year. That was the starting point on my journey. I was still searching. A friend told me about Sunburst, and I knew that I had to check it out. When I arrived, I knew that I had found my spot. When I came to the farm all those years ago, I just felt home and welcomed with the best energy, and I knew this was it. I began to listen to my inner voice, trusting that it would guide my words and actions. It was there that I learned the importance of meditation and quieting the mind, to listen to that small inner voice in the temple of silence. I had an experience at our community in the Cuyama Valley years ago. I was leading a family meeting, and there was a question asked. And at that time, when we went to meditation, we wore white robes and someone asked, why do we wear white robes? And I kind of freaked a little at that question, and I asked out, what's the answer? And these words came to me instantly. As we become bathed in light within, so shall it be without. And it was just like that sound. It came instantly. And that was a very profound moment for me, because I cried out, and bam, there it was. And I'll share a story from my earlier years. My lifeguarding job was finishing up down in Seal Beach. Summer was over, and I was pondering my options. And I was standing there with a friend, and we were talking about our life path and choices. And I really didn't know what was going to come up for me, but I just had this upwelling feeling that everything was fine and I was on the right course, even though it wasn't spelled out specifically. Intuition is a spiritual faculty that does not explain but simply points the way. We must make the first move. Invite Spirit to guide us. When the seeker sends out a sincere request to the universe, it does not return void. Intuition usually feels calm, clear, and steady, even if it points to a hard choice. And we know we have to move forward with that. It tends to align with your deepest ethics, love, and compassion, even if it challenges your comfort. I think we've all had those experiences. We must be the still water to listen if our ship is to come in. The book, A Course in Miracles, assures us that we have an impeccable guide within us, qualified and available to answer all of our callings, our questions, and lead us to our desired goals. Be conscious of the signs that you receive and thank Spirit for its guidance. Those are the whispers that we get. Draw nigh to God, and God will draw nigh to you. Spirit is always sending out and transmitting divine love and guidance. We can receive these blessings if our reception is clear and calm. We can receive even more clarity if we can reduce the constant noise bombarding us from so many sources, including the constant chatter of our minds. We are so used to filtering everything through the mind that it takes practice to step back and allow our intuitive feelings to come through and be heard. Most of the time, the mind is like a full cup of water overflowing with thoughts. If we can empty out some of the thoughts, it leaves room for intuition to enter. Intuition is our feeling body. Meditation is a way to calm the mind and become receptive to the voice of Spirit. Some of the daily practices that help deepen spiritual intuition focuses on quieting the mind, tuning into subtle inner signal, and building trust in divine or soul-level guidance. Create a quiet space for regular meditation, prayer, or reflective journaling to help you notice subtle inner movements. Ask and listen. Directly invite your higher self or soul for guidance on a specific question. Then notice the feelings, ideas, and signs over the next few hours or days. Spending time in nature, doing some movement practices like yoga or walking, or whatever brings about a feeling of peace to your soul encourages the mind to slow down and become more attuned and alert to the subtle signals that Spirit is always sending you. I receive great comfort and peace when I am immersed in nature, the ocean especially, as you know. When I am at the ocean, I immediately feel calmer. It just takes it down a few notches. Sitting in the sand, listening to the waves, hearing the birds, and smelling the salt air, hearing the waves, it really just is so great. Staying in the present moment helps us to stay grounded and not get ahead of ourselves. It's good to start your day with a 5 to 10 minutes of breath meditation. Sit quietly, focus on slow inhales and exhales, and invite intuitive thoughts to arise without judgment. If you have a technique of meditation, deepen it by expressing gratitude to your higher self for all the synchronicities and inner guidances that you are receiving. Always end your day with another 5 to 10 minute meditation or longer. Clear your mind and rest in the pure awareness that resides within you. As your meditations deepen, you will be drawn further inward, wanting to stay in that space longer. Give thanks for the intuitive nudges and whispers that you are receiving. Let us now go into our quiet time and renew our sacred alliance with Divine Spirit. Sit comfortably with your spine erect. Take a moment to find your center. If you have a meditation technique, use it now. If not, start by taking long, full inhalations. Feel your chest expand. Pause and slowly exhale. Your eyes may be closed or slightly open, with your chin parallel to the floor. Focus your attention on your breath, the inhalation and the exhalation. When thoughts arise, let them go like passing clouds. Don't engage them. Return to your breath. Put a little smile on your face. It brings about a good energy. Offer your love, devotion, and attention, all that you are, to the all-knowing presence that created you and is the very life within you. Nicole will lead us into our quiet time with the bowls. Our higher self, our intuition, is constantly sending us whispers and nudges. If we can listen to them and not judge them or dismiss them, we can be guided even in small, everyday things, as well as grander things, the aha moments. I will close with this. When we can shift our attention from logic to intuition, this will occur. The shift invites us to listen more deeply, trust subtle signals, and allow inner guidance to shape everyday decisions. Synchronicities become easier to notice, dreams feel more meaningful, and communication softens into something more poetic and heart-led. Sensitivity increases, and emotional awareness becomes sharper. It becomes easier to sense what is unspoken and connects through empathy rather than explanation. Some of the most important answers arrive through feelings, imagination, and trust in divine timing. Let your intuition lead.
In the silence blossoms of virtue growing in my heart. I feel so blessed. I feel your grace in that silent garden of peace. Purple light, bright star.